good was it to be able to make that call to Beth Mead and recall her to a squad? Or maybe she called you and said, I'm okay.
No, she did that months ago. No, of course, that's really nice. She's played minutes. She's in a good place and still building too. But yeah, that was a very nice phone call and she was very happy.
What sort of conversations have you had with Arsenal and her? Because she only started her first league game, 2 days ago?
Yeah, well, we've had conversations all the time. So we had conversations before September camp or during, or before and after. And so did we in October too, because she was already fully training and getting some minutes, but I just wanted to see a little more. And that's what we have seen now. And she's just, her health is really good, so she can just go. And she showed, of course, in games that she's in a good place. And of course, we want to keep her, that she keeps growing and improving. But she's shown enough for me and for my technical staff to bring her in.
And talk to us about having a character like that around. It's well documented how tough the last year has been for her, but how much of a lift can she give this group of players when you really kind of need a little bit of a lift in these last 2 games?
Yeah, I think, you know, she is a character that brings positive energy on pitch and off pitch. I think we have more players like that, but it's good to have her back. Of course, her experience, the way she plays, she's different than other players on the wing. So she brings different things. So that's good for the team too. So we have different opportunities again. So yeah, I expect on and off pitch that it gives us some extra energy.
And you talked about not panicking after the last defeat. Not panicking, but are you going to do things a little bit different? Because it is 3 losses in your last 5, and you do really, really need to win these last 2 games.
Yeah, we absolutely do. And if you look at I think the Belgium game was very, you know, the difference of us to them was so big. We just didn't win it, which is not good, of course. And I think, well, then the Netherlands was very unnecessary, and you're talking about the final too against Spain. But I like that result, that last result was not really a reflection of how we were in camp. So yes, we're in a situation where we absolutely need wins, and we know that, we're aware of that. And of course, wherever we go into a camp, we want to win games. And we haven't done that lately in all our games, so that's really what we want to do. But our approach will not all of a sudden change. We just we'll review our last game. We reviewed, of course, the Belgian game earlier. We get prepared for the Netherlands first. And the process we do will not be a lot different, because I think we still do good things. We just have to do better in moments of the game, which we said in the final third. We create a lot of chances. Well, we want to be more ruthless. And we have to be aware of the counter-attack and do better things with that and keep the ball better, being tighter on the ball.
And I wonder, because everything you've done or everything you've touched has almost turned to gold in the first little while you've sat up there in the England job. When things do get a bit sticky, how much do you look at yourself? How critical are you of yourself? Do you allow any kind of external noise to say, come on, Sarina, you've got to find a way out of this?
Well, I think I'm always critical of myself. Even when we win, there are always things you think, oh, we could have done this, or maybe we could have done that. But that's really easy after the game or after a camp. So you always think, okay, well, maybe we should have done this a little bit or that a little bit. So even when we win, I'll do that. Now, what you're pointing on, the urgency to win games is just higher. But we always under pressure to win games, and we always want to win games. That's the expectation from the outside world, but also from ourselves. So it's pretty challenging too. So I'm actually really looking forward to the next camp. We're playing in Wembley. Hopefully it's sold out again. It's almost sold out now. And yeah, of course the team will be very eager to get a good result. And so will I.
Just a couple from me, because there's a new player, isn't there, on the international coaching stage in Emma Hayes, since we probably last spoke to you. Any surprise that she got the job? And I guess she, whilst I don't know how well you know her, has moulded so many of your players. Yeah. How much will you kind of miss that role? How concerned are you that she's not going to be in most of your squads ears most of the time.
I said to her, so now we are really in collaboration. We're basically in the same team. Now you're going to the other team, so how are we going to do that? But of course, she's done a tremendous job. Incredible what results she had over the decade. And I think for her, of course, it's good to move on to and it's I congratulate her, of course, with the new job. It's very exciting for her, and I think for us, for England, it's a disappointment. But I think for her, it's really good. And overall, if you see the bigger picture, it's good for the women's game too. So we'll see how that goes. But until this season, we'll collaborate.
And just on that, I know that she's so involved in everything. As an international manager, how hard do you think that might be for her to not be in control of all her players all the time?
Yeah, you have to ask her that question.
I mean, did you find it easy to adapt?
That's a long time ago. That was 2014 when I joined the Dutch national team as assistant coach. In the beginning, I found that hard because you were involved every day. Later on, you find a way to do that. And now it's just finding balance all the time. Because when players are at club, you really want them to focus on club and don't interfere all the time, because then they're focused on that. So sometimes you just have to be patient and wait till they come in camp. Or when things are really urgent, you know, that I just make sure that coaches know when I do reach out to them, and then it's necessary for them to know. It's just kind of a collaboration too. But the development and the most of the time, they're of course with club, and you need to respect that.
Yeah. Just finally from me, you talk about how good it is for the women's game that she is now on the international stage. I wondered about the fact that she now earns the same as the men's USA coach, how good that is as well for the women's game.
Yeah, that's in the news everywhere. I think the game is growing so much, and that's what we see in all stages. So the facilities and all the opportunities we get, the level, of course, and for the players. And this is another step that has been taken.
Thanks, Gal. Go to Emma at the BBC. Thank you.
Hi, Sarina.
Hi.
Nice to see you. Just looking through the squad, it looks, very familiar, lots of experience in there. Knowing that these games were so crucial, was that something that you thought about? You thought maybe, wanted to stick more with the tried and tested as opposed to bringing in, any more sort of newer, younger players? Yeah, well,
you try to find a balance. Of course, it's all about quality. First, it starts with quality. But also, this would not be a moment you just experience a little bit. Because we know what we have to do. So yes, that's also one of the reasons that we didn't want to change, but it starts with quality.
Yeah, and obviously with Beth Mead coming back into those attacking spots as well, it's so competitive when you look at those names in there.
Yeah, absolutely. We have so many options.
Yeah, and you look at, the likes of Ebony Salmon, Jess Park, who have obviously been in the squads before, Katie Robertson as well.
Yeah.
I guess that's another stumbling block for them as well, having just the competition.
Yeah, there's a huge competition in that position. And of course, you're not going to select 10 wingers, because then you don't have a balance in your squad. But it gives opportunities, gives a lot of competition. And of course, then the players will thrive themselves too. So, driving themselves too. So I think that's good for the game and for England, and hard for us to make decisions.
Thanks, Emma. Yeah, we'll go to Tom at Telegraph. Thank you.
Hi, Sarina. Nice to see you. Can I ask you about Aggie Beaver-Jones? I don't think there's any English players in the WSL with more league goals than her so far this season, so I'm wondering how close she was to the squad for you.
Yeah, she scored a nice goal this weekend. We all saw again. She's in our conversations. I think it's a little bit too early, also with the competition we were just talking about. And we see good things. She's in the under-23, so we have with Chelsea, of course, we're in contact with Chelsea, but also with the under-23s, it's really good that she can get the minutes there and keep developing. And I hope she just keeps improving and gives us headaches again with our selection.
And could I also ask you about Ellie Roebuck, and maybe just more, how is she? Have you had a chance to speak to her? Because I suppose it must have been very tough few months of her not playing at Man City and now out the England squad too.
Yeah, of course, that's really hard for her. At the position she has at the club now, and we did have conversations. So last campus we decided to get in 4. Now we have 4 goalkeepers. Now we went back to 3, and so I had to give her the hard message that we didn't pick her for now. Yeah, she's in a hard position, and she just have to work hard and see, if she can find opportunities to play. And right now, it's very short term, that's probably not going to happen.
And you mentioned it a little bit there on going back from 4 keepers to 3, but I wondered why it was a 23-player squad. We've seen 24, 25-player squads in recent camps. Was that a deliberate thing to go back to 23 players?
Yeah, and I think this was last camp. Of course, you always have just a little bit different context, but for now, I thought these were the players we wanted to see. Also, well, with the goalkeepers, we went back to 3. That was very deliberate, and with the context we have right now and the 2 games coming up.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thanks, Tom. Any other questions from the floor? Yeah.
Hi, Sarina.
Hi.
Just quickly as well, obviously the Champions League has now begun as well. I know we talk about fixture congestion a lot, but with the timing of these 2 games, does that mean that perhaps you'll need to use more of the squad and perhaps rotate more between the 2 games than you would otherwise?
Yeah, we'll approach the games to win, and I'll sub to win. And of course, we'll see also how players come in. So it's a very busy period now for all the players who have Champions League. So then when they come in, we'll see how they are, and we're trying to get everyone ready for the Friday game. And after the Friday game, we get everyone ready for the Tuesday game, and we'll see. But we'll sub or get the starting lineup with players who are fresh and ready to play, and we think those are the best at that moment. And during the game, we'll just sub to win the game.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. We'll call it a day there. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank
See you
you.
next week.